Guard from 2nd Battalion Royal New South Wales Regiment, ready for inspection, sir.
That's very true, and there's a good reason for it. We have such a spread of resources in the region that the hunter is actually unique in Australia. In fact, we have a better balance, a better structure in our regional economy than even Sydney. And also, every major firm in Australia ultimately has some interest in some business or something that's happening here, whether they're in Sydney or Melbourne or in Cairns. That's why everybody's interested in the hunter. Well, this project, initially a 3-year project, relies heavily upon data from, for instance, this current census. It makes use of this to analyse the human resources of these regions, and we hope to bring out differences within each of these regions. There are obvious differences even now. A region such as Canberra's, based upon an administrative centre, is different from the Newcastle region, where many people are employed in heavy industries. Again, Newcastle's different from the Cairns region. Far north Queensland, who relying upon rural industries, is facing problems in the future, and we hope to bring out some of these problems in this study. In fact, we hope to bring out future prospects for all of these regions. We've got to face the fact that some of these regions may be facing up to a decline, while others show prospects of growth in the future. This project is really aiming to see what chances there are of growth in each of these regions.
The Foundation has long recognised that there is a crisis in local government, and this crisis hinges on the lack of available finance reaching this area of government. Local government provides such essential services as electricity, water and sewerage, and any curtailment of services in this area means that investment, which is after all crucial to the growth of the region, is made at a diminishing rate. Now, this study plans to do 3 things. In the short run, the study plans to show how best use can be made of available resources, and in the long run, the study will plan to show what the needs of the regions will be in the future and to provide criteria for evaluating how shires and municipalities can best use finance which becomes available for the wide scope of projects that they are involved in. And this will allow planning to be made for the future.
The Research Foundation is also studying industrial structure in the region. Industrial structure just doesn't mean factories and land and buildings, but it means people. It means the kinds of jobs that people work in. It takes it from primary through to secondary through tertiary stages, where you extract in the primary stage from nature, as in mining or fishing. You refashion these materials in the secondary stage, as into steel, and in the tertiary stage, the servicing, the transport, the other facilities that go to keep the economy going are included.
There are other commercial minerals in the region, and these include mineral sands, construction materials, clays and industrial sands. I'm going to try and look at the mineral wealth of the region and assess its utilisation in industry, not only in Australia but also for export overseas. Coal, of course, is basic to the regional economy, and although 75% of it is used for power generation and steel making, 25% is exported to Japan, or overseas rather, and Japan takes most of it.
It looks as if more and more people are going to need to develop skills. This might need training for some people, retraining for others. My project's concerned with how changes in technology are likely to lead to changes in education. This is particularly going to concern the field of technical education, although to some extent I'll be concerned with the resources of the whole of the educational structure in the region, from primary schools through to universities. I'll also be concerned with seeing how the main industries at the moment are using technology and the likely changes that are going to take place in such industries as steel and mining, transport and other key industries.
And we divided this survey up into looking at 4 types of pollution hazards or environmental hazards. These were air hazards, water pollution hazards, land hazards and noise hazards. We also emphasise, we didn't just break these up into distinct categories, but we emphasised the connected nature of all these types of hazards and how they result in a total effect on the environment. We have published this information as a research report, report number 12, and we find this under heavy demand, especially from schools who are becoming more and more interested in this question of environment and quite often have projects on environments as part of their syllabus now. It became apparent in the survey that the worst affected areas of the whole region were those closest to the coast, and I am at present engaged in a concentrated effort of looking at these types of problems in the Newcastle coastal zone.
In the foreseeable future, one can expect that beef industry, beef cattle production, to move further west to utilise this sheep country. One can also expect to find beef industry moving onto the rich alluvium of the Hunter Valley, Hunter River. You'll also find along here pig production, poultry production, vegetable production and more grape production, which will utilise country where dairying will decline.
By total planning, we mean planning which considers not only the direct cost to the Water Board or to another construction agency, we mean considering all the costs and all the effects of a proposed development of a water resource. With flood mitigation, for example, we have to consider not only the economic effects of proposed flood mitigation, we have to consider also the social effects, the effects on the local community, the local farmers and others, the effects on the region. In this total planning, we must also consider other alternatives to the methods now being used. For instance, levee banks or floodgates. We have to consider increased use of zoning or flood insurance. These may be alternatives to the methods now being used.
this is going to cost a lot of money, and already we've been asking for increased amounts in Melbourne and Sydney this year and getting these. I'm asking for $50,000 in Newcastle and the Hunter region this year, and this will be a performance well in advance of what we got last year, which fell down a bit on the money side. I don't think this was really due to any lack of interest in the foundation. It was because we were lacking some enthusiasm. Now, with my new directors, with this new research program, which I think singles out the really tough nuts we have to crack in economic growth and employment in the region, with the new staff and with the enthusiasm we have, I feel quite sure we can get the finance we need. If we look at what happens if we don't get the finance, then I think we understand how important it is for everybody to get behind this work of the Hunter Valley Research Foundation.